hope everyone's having a really great 2017 so far. It's January still, and President Trump. Okay, I really wanted to talk about the inauguration and the Women's March this video because I think it deserves to be talked about, and you know, it needs to be discussed, so that's what I'm gonna do. So, welcome to the beginning of the end of the world. It's 2017, Donald Trump is president, and this is like his second day in office or something. I watched the inauguration speech ceremony, if you can call it that, and you know, I was watching on like a live BBC TV stream, and it was the most basic ass thing I've ever seen a president make a speech about. It was so gloomy, it was so depressing. Just talking about tombstone towns and how awful everything is. As well, on top of that, the weather was shit. It started raining as soon as he got on stage, which everyone else seemed to think that it was like a blessing or something, which is utter bullshit. And then, you know, attendance-wise, everyone's been talking about that, the size of the crowd, because Trump is obsessed with size, as we all know. He was saying, or his press secretary was saying in a conference the other day, that this was the biggest crowd in inauguration history period, which is, again, utter bullshit. I just can't. I really can't with this new administration. It's already just turning to pot, and we've got alternative facts, and we've just got, you know, misinformation, mistruths, and lying, and it was just awful. I was cringing as I was watching it, and you know, we've got another 4 to 8 years of it, so buckle up, kids. And you know, I was sitting there and I was watching the inauguration, and I was looking at the pitiful amount of people that attended, all with their red caps on, Make America Great Again, and you know, I just feel sorry for those people. I felt really sorry for those people that were just stood out in the rain watching this ceremony and just listening to a really drab, you know, uninspiring speech, and I just feel like they've just been had. They've been completely duped, and I feel sorry for them, because like, years down the line, I think they're going to finally realise, eventually, let's hope, that they've been completely duped and lied to, and you know, the jobs that they think are going to be coming back to them, like the coal mining and the steel industries and things like that, and the Rust Belt and the Middle America, it's not gonna happen. Globalization has already had such a big effect that it's not gonna just magically return and everyone's going to have a job again. I just don't think that's going to happen realistically. And I just feel so sorry for them, because they just drink in everything he seems to say, and they're like, oh yeah, well, he's anti-establishment. Like, he's the most establishment person. He's not emptying the swamp, he's just filled it with huge CEOs, millionaires, billionaires who don't give a shit about you, and they're just going to keep filling up their wallets and they're continuing the tax cuts for the rich, and they don't care about you, mate. They don't care about you. One brief example of someone that he's nominated as Education Secretary, Betsy DeVos, who has absolutely no clue about education whatsoever. She did not attend public school, she was privately educated, she married a millionaire, she was born into a millionaire's family, and she literally just has no experience dealing with like any kind of college education, primary, secondary education, high school, that sort of thing. And you know, all these nominees have to go through sort of confirmation hearings, and they get questions sort of like an interview process. And during one of these hearings, she was asked by a Democrat, specifically one of the Democrats who is in charge of the state where the Sandy Hook gun crime thing happened, and she got asked, does she think that guns and firearms have a place within schools? And she could not give a definitive yes or no answer to that, like nothing at all. The only thing that she had to say was that possibly yes, because in some states and areas such as Wapiti, Wyoming, an area where there's a national park next to it, you might need a gun there because there's a potential possibility for grizzly bears. I mean, there was just a bunch of other stupid stuff she said, and that made it just sound so inexperienced and ignorant, and it's just embarrassing. Like, that person's nominated to be education secretary for the entire country, and she knows nothing about education or schools or anything like that, because like she's never been in that environment, so she knows fuck all about it basically. And she wants to privatize everything, much like in this country. She just wants to make everything private, so all the money goes to the government instead of out publicly. It's just like, what the it's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. I guess the one silver lining of the entire inauguration was the fact that, one, Michelle Obama's shade face said everything that we needed to know about what she was thinking, and also George W. Bush, when his rain poncho just blew up over his face. Yes, turn that into a meme straight away. And also, he probably must be thinking, well, at least I won't be remembered as the worst president in history, because now that's probably going to be Mr. Trump. Also, Melania Trump did very much look like Lady Penelope from Thunderbirds. Anyway, in response to the inauguration, I'm super happy and glad that in response to Trump, a huge, massive women's march took place in Washington the next day, I think it was, on the weekend. And it wasn't just in Washington, it was all over the world, in every other most American cities, in Canada as well, and London did one. Some cities in Europe, like Paris, I think, and Amsterdam, other places in Asia, I think. It was just like a huge worldwide event that brought loads of people together from all different kinds of backgrounds. It was just hugely diverse. I didn't go, I wish I had now, but I was just like, solidarity to everybody who went, because, you know, power to you. I'm so glad that people are finally waking up to politics and things that they don't like and don't agree with. They're finally standing up for what they believe in, and it was just so wonderful to see that many people out in the streets protesting and making their arguments heard. And, you know, everyone from like the LGBT community to women to men to people of colour, you know, everybody you could think of was out there just like raising their voices and making a stand against like this horrible like demagogue. It's a really great thing, and I hope that we start to have more of these discussions and, you know, really come together and talk about things that we disagree with or agree with. And, you know, you can do it too. You can like let me know what you think in the comments. We can have like a discussion and conversation about it, which I would love. So I know that a lot of people are quite fearful and worried about the stuff that's going to be happening in the next 4 to 8 years. Let's hope it doesn't last that long, but a lot of people are just really concerned about the policies that Trump and his administration are going to put in place, you know, such as like Planned Parenthood and anti-abortion and repealing Obamacare. And apparently I've heard that like they're planning to repeal it, but they don't know what they're going to replace it with yet, which sounds absurd. It's going to be a hard 4 years, and there's going to be a lot of conflict, and I am genuinely worried as well about, you know, foreign policy and things that are going to happen around the world. And it's not just America, it's around the globe. It's here in the UK, it's in China, it's in, you know, Africa, it's in Europe. And, you know, how are these world powers going to come together or not? That's what I'm worried about. So yeah, that's what I think. Make sure you put your comments down here, and I really love to hear from you, whether you voted for Trump. I'd love to hear your comments even more. If you didn't, then, you know, everyone get involved. So yeah, I guess I will see you guys in another video. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. As always, I'll be back with another video soon. See you guys.